What's going on, everyone? You're in the right place. If you love sports, especially football, I'm Waiver Wire Queen, and we got Quentin here joining me this evening. How you doing, Quentin?
What up? What up? Thank you for having me.
That's right. That's right. We're gonna start evaluating all of the teams in the NFL. We're gonna do it by division. Tonight, we're gonna be discussing the NFC East, aka NFC Least. For those who hated on the Giants, like Quentin over here. But before we get started on that, hit the like button and yell game time to make the YouTube algorithm go crazy. All right. So we're going to talk about the NFC East. We're going to jump right into it. The good thing about this is both of our teams are in this division. So, I'm a Giants fan, obviously, and we got the Cowboys fan over here.
Super Bowl bound.
I think Cowboy fans say that every year. They can have Andy Dalton as the starting quarterback, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl." That's
Right.
how they feel every year.
Missing
But
Rider.
I know better than that. I know better, and they know better, right? They know better, but they won't speak it out
No, no,
into
no. We
existence. They know. All right, so 2020 season was a tough season for the NFC East, aka NFC Least. Washington finished 7-9. The Giants were 6-10. Cowboys 6-10. Our Giants were right above them. And the Eagles were 4-11-1 because they tied. So that is a division under 500, which is why you hear people refer to it as the NFC least. Tough season. I don't know about you, Quentin, but it was a tough season for my Giants. I know you. I know you love your Cowboys, but it was a hard season for y'all, and I was cheering. I was like, "Hey, that's right. I want to see the Cowboys lose. It's
right.
a good day when the Cowboys lose, y'all."
So we did have a lot of injuries. First off, we lost our tight end. Um, that was Blake Jarwin. He did have a respectable backup in Dalton Schultz, but once we lost Dak, it was pretty much over for us. Our offensive line, I mean, it was injury prone just from the jump of the season, and I think a lot of that had to do with not being able to hold training camps or OTAs.
Mm-hmm.
Whose bodies wasn't conditioned at all. So it proved itself evident. And Zeke also had a bad year because of that offensive line. So I think this year we're excited to actually be back out there practicing, getting these reps in. So we're looking forward to the future.
We'll see. We'll see. So let's jump right into this little segment I put together. What was the major issue with the Washington football team during the 2020 season?
Consistent quarterback play, I believe. I think they ran through at least three or four
Yeah.
quarterbacks during that time. So Terry McLaurin, he's a beast. They do need to get him some help on the outside, maybe a reliable slot receiver. But yeah, if they could get some consistency behind quarterback, I think they would be a legitimate contender in the NFC East at this
You,
time. They're just
I agree with you on that one. That to me was a huge issue for them. They had to finish the season with Alex Smith. He wasn't 100%, and as you can see, he retired. Thought that was a good move for him. The defense is solid, but that was the biggest issue, and the reason why I think they were under 500 to finish the season is inconsistent quarterback play. Do you feel like they've addressed the quarterback issue in the draft or during free agency thus far?
so they got Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's the journeyman.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll tie them over, but no, I don't think they have completely addressed it. They do have a lot of assets. So the Aaron Rodgers trade makes sense to to a lot of people. I'm just hoping Green Bay chooses to send him to the AFC though.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they'll end up doing. They probably won't get as much back, but I like Ryan Fitzpatrick, but we all know he's gonna only be good for about 5 or 6 games. I do not feel like their franchise quarterback is on currently on the roster, so I don't know what they're gonna do if they're gonna try to address it. Maybe next draft, maybe they'll put a package together for Aaron Rodgers. I have no clue, but what I do know is. Um, Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to win them a few games, and he's going to hit that wall where they're going to want to put what's his name? Is it Tyler Heineke in there? They're going to
Uh,
want to throw him in there. What? How you pronounce his name?
I believe it's Heineke.
Okay, because I hack up names out here. Everybody knows Waiver Wire Queen will hack up a name or two,
I'm gonna
and
say
I always say my bad, but you know what? It is what it is. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But
because
that to me is the reason why that's what's holding them back. Quarterback. The defense is solid. They have some solid weapons on offense. Quarterback is an issue, and it's going to continue to be an issue until they address it. They let Haskins go. He's in Pittsburgh now, so they don't have their future quarterback, franchise quarterback on that roster. But you know what? I still think they'll have a solid season. So let's move right along. What was the major issue with the Giants during the 2020 season?
you lost Saquon, and I'm still not a believer in Danny Dimes.
Oh,
I'm not.
you're not you're
So,
not big on Danny? Come on now, you ain't big on Danny Dimes?
so when our landscape in the NFC East, I believe it was Marcus Spears on ESPN who said that it's the quarterback. It's whoever has the best quarterback in the NFC East. And right now, it looks like Dak is the better of all the quarterbacks. And I can't put my money on Daniel Jones. I don't know why y'all drafted him. He's like, I guess he was like supposed to be Eli, like prototypical, but I don't like it. I don't like it.
I get it. My biggest takeaway with the Giants for the 2020 season was the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Saquon being hurt early on in the season. From the get go, it didn't look like it was going to be a good season for him in game one, and then second game he got injured early. However, I'm in agreement that quarterback is the issue. Um, that's gonna be that's gonna be addressed after this season. If Daniel Jones does not improve this season tremendously, then the Giants are gonna have to move on because you've now provided him and surrounded him with enough offensive weapons to perform well. However, I do not feel like they addressed the offensive line in the draft. However, Joe Judge and Dave Gettleman believe in the young offensive line we have. So I'm going to give them a chance in that regards. And I'm always in Joe Judge we trust. I'm going to trust Joe Judge because he's done such a tremendous job with that group since being hired. Okay. So do you feel like the Giants addressed whatever needs that they had in the 2020 season in the draft this year?
I think the wide receiver help that they got in the free agency, Kenny Galladay, I think that was huge.
Mm-hmm.
I did see improvement in the defense over last season, so I'm really not hard on the Giants on defense. They've always been able to have a competent defense. Um, what I have noticed over the years, and I can't seem to understand, is why hasn't Evan Ingram lived up to his height? Um,
I'm
so
with you on that one.
yeah, I'm missing something here because I felt like it was Evan Ingram and OJ Howard and Cameron Brate. And these were supposed to be the equivalent to Hunter Henry and Travis Kelce. And these tight ends haven't lived up to the hype at all. So I'm concerned if you guys are gonna try and make a trade and get him out because I mean he's an athletic tight end that I mean is not doing anything. So I'm not understanding that one. I don't see how he helps in pass blocking or run blocking or even catching the ball. So I'm disappointed in him, to say the least.
I'm in agreement with you on that. I feel like at times he uh, he shows flashes of that young athletic tight end that you want on your team and you envision in today's NFL in today's game. However, he's inconsistent. I've watched him just drop balls and just frustrate the hell out of, I'm sure, all Giants fans. Will we make a trade? I doubt that. I believe this is going to be a prove it season for him as well. Hey, if the Giants could swing a trade for someone like Aaron Rodgers, because we now have the assets, thanks to the Cowboys, for doing us that solid and helping Philly out. So we made moves, and we have two first round picks in the 2022 draft. Maybe we could start talks. We could start a discussion with Green Bay about a trade for Aaron Rodgers. I doubt it because they're probably not gonna want to trade him in the NFC. However, I'm looking for all of the assets I can get if I'm Green Bay. But let's talk about the Cowboys. What was the major issue with the Cowboys of 2020 season, and do you feel like they addressed that in the draft?
So the verdict is still out on Mike McCarthy. I think that was. I think we're giving him, as far as Cowboys fans, I know we're giving him the excuse that 2020 was the pandemic season. You didn't have time to actually develop relationships with your players. Um, that defense was horrible. I literally saw people standing around, grown men playing defense that looked like they did not know what a defensive play was. So it looked confusing at times. So hopefully with Dan Quinn in his original spot as coordinator instead of head coach, maybe he can, give that defensive prowess that we need, a championship defense here in Dallas. So I think it'll work. Me personally, I was impressed with the fact that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones allowed Dan Quinn to pick his players during the draft. So it let me feel comfortable knowing that it seems as if Jerry may be entertaining the thought of actually winning this season. Because I know Jerry does not care about winning; he cares about popularity and how much Dallas can make, how much the Cowboys can make. So it's nice to see that. It's nice to see that change. So hopefully, this draft, I think we address the defense. I wish we could have got the cornerbacks that we needed. Maybe we can still work out something with this off season. But right now, I like where we're headed.
Hey, I was surprised when Denver picked Patrick Surtain. I think everybody was, and I don't think the Cowboys really truly knew what to do
Nah,
once he was off the board. I do feel like they have addressed issues because they did draft several players to help the defense. Now it's just all about getting in there and seeing if the guys that they selected are the right players for that system and are they going to perform well. Um, y'all left Asante Samuel Jr. on the board. Figured y'all should have took him, but y'all didn't. We're just gonna have to see what happens. I'm hoping, obviously, that y'all got it wrong, but we'll have to see. I do feel like y'all addressed it. Y'all addressed defense, which is important because y'all can score 40 points, but you can't stop anyone. So you
took,
can't stop anybody.
I will say we took the wrong linebacker. We took the wrong linebacker in the first round. We shouldn't have took Michael Parsons. We should have taken Zaven Collins from Tulsa. He was the better linebacker. I think Micah was a product of going to top 5 Big Ten, a big school, versus Zaven going to Tulsa. He got the height. So I think we did take the wrong linebacker, but I feel like Micah should perform well next to Jalen Smith this season.
We'll see. I'm looking forward to Giants versus Cowboys. So, what do you What are your thoughts on the Eagles? What do you think their major issues were during the 2020 season? And you think they addressed that
So
for free agency?
so I like the wide receiver pick, giving Jalen Hurts his best friend. I think the Eagles' issue has always been injuries. The defense never stays healthy. Their wide receivers never stay healthy. Devontae Smith is small, so I want to see his durability. And Eagles have been injury prone the last 4 or 5 years, so I mean, I don't see them ever changing that. Like I'm not. I don't. At one point, we used to fear the Eagles, and when they stopped blitzing, they became injury prone, and nobody is scared of them. So good luck with it.
I
But they're
mean,
favorite, but
yeah, my thoughts are I like the fact that they did get hurt some help. So we'll have to see how that, transpires. I don't feel like they are 100% sold on Hurts. So we'll have to see what happens. He's going to have to improve tremendously this season. Otherwise, I think they're going to go in another direction. I do love the fact that they jumped ahead of the Giants and they took Smith because we were able to move back and add those two first round picks for 2022, which may lead to the great Aaron Rodgers, but we'll have to see. They drafted, they just drafted several players in various positions because they needed so much on that roster. So I do give them credit for just drafting, just going out there, drafting the best available player on their board for various positions. They drafted, to try to make that team better. Now it's just, is it going to work? Players they pick, is that going to make them a better football team? The biggest issue is when you need so much, it's really, to me, hard to put it together because by the time you get to the fourth round, it's like, okay, well, I need a offensive tackle or I need a linebacker. You're not the fourth round trying to, find great talent. You may find it, you may not. So when you're in need of pretty much everything, it's hard to say that you're going to improve drastically. It's going to take some time. They're in a rebuild, so it's going to take a few years to see if all of the moves that they made during free agency and the draft are going to work and lead them to a Super Bowl. I doubt it, but they're not going to win any more Super Bowls. They don't have Nick Foles. Okay, that's all I got to say. No Nick Foles, no chance. We all know that that's when they really play well. And that's when he plays well, right? You know this? When he go to any other team, he's just and when they don't have Nick Foles and then they don't win, they're not winning the Super Bowl. So they better holler at Nick Foles again. No, you're not gonna do that. But yeah, I think we're gonna talk about the draft because I honestly feel like all teams in the NFC East did a solid job during the draft. So let's get back into the draft. We're gonna start with Washington, the Washington football team. I'm sorry, Washington football team. I mean, it's time to get a name, okay? You need a name, Washington. You need a name. I'm not going with Washington football team.
that's
Get a name. I've been saying this for the longest. Why don't you guys survey your fans, different names, come up with the best three, and let your fans pick or somebody pick because I'm not feeling Washington football team. I think y'all can come up with something different. But you know what? It's all good. Giants got the best name anyway, so it's all good. So let's jump right
yeah.
into the draft. Okay, so going into the draft, one of the top needs for the Washington football team was quarterback, and to me DBs because the front seven on defense, the front amazing. They were solid there. They didn't need to do anything to that.
Yeah.
It's
Those
amazing.
are, those are all first rounders, by the way.
Yes,
I
yes.
think a lot of people like that because when what they did to Tom Brady, like that wasn't a mistake. Like
Yeah,
they meant
solid.
to, that was solid play. But speaking on them in the draft, they did need DB help and quarterback help, and they didn't address either one. Not to me effectively. So they didn't even draft a quarterback. So
No, they didn't.
yeah, I'm not sure what the purpose of what they felt their draft was. They got a young linebacker to help out that core. But I honestly felt through their draft they were trying to make a play specifically to try to move on one of these already established quarterbacks. The draft really didn't make sense for Washington at that point. So I don't address
them. I'm gonna let you give him whatever you want. If you want to give him an F, you can. What you giving them?
that was a pretty rough draft. I'm gonna give them a D.
Ooh, we out here giving D's out here for D-Town, for Dallas.
Yeah, that's a D. I think. If you're just adding reinforcements to your defense, that's cool. But you didn't really. I don't think you attacked anything. That.
One thing I thought was good drafting the linebacker. I feel like at 19 there was no quarterback for them to take unless they was gonna move up and say snatch Mac Jones, or even move up further and take a chance on Justin Fields. But I'm thinking with them, even though they're a young team, they feel like we want to win right now. And moving up to draft Justin Fields or Mac Jones and giving up a bunch of draft capital wasn't going to be the best move for them, especially considering the whole Haskins thing didn't work out. Now, when you have a solid defense like that, to add some other young solid defensive weapons, it's just going to make that defense better and make it tougher for our teams. They didn't get a quarterback. They did draft a cornerback, so we'll have to see how that works for them. I think the defense is just going to improve. And again, their biggest issue is that quarterback position. So I'm gonna give them a C plus on the strength of, to me, to everyone most likely is gonna think that quarterback is the most important position. You need a quarterback, and Ryan Fitzpatrick is only going to win them a certain amount of games. I know most people are like, well, in the NFC East, you can get by with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Well, no, not necessarily when you have the Cowboys, who their defense is probably going to be improved. Giants defense is going to be improved. And I think Philly's defense is going to improve. So I feel like the NFC East is going to be more competitive than it was the last few years. So you're not going to just be able to assume that, oh, it's the NFC East, aka NFC East. We don't really need to address the quarterback position because we're going to win a division with all teams being under 500 again. I don't think that's going to happen this year. So what did I give him, a C minus? Yeah, C minus. That's what I'm doing. I think I gave him a C, but I'm going to go C minus. I had to add that minus in there. Just the thought of them thinking that Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to lead them how far in the playoffs? Not very far. And nothing against him because he's been solid, but he does the same thing every year. He's definitely going to be solid fantasy wise now. Okay, I may have to go pick him up, but as far as long term, I'm 100% sure they know that he is not the long term answer. Short term, I don't think he's the short term answer. However, this is what they want. This is who they wanted to roll with. We're gonna have to see. So I done switched my grade from a C to a C minus, and you gave him a D. C minus isn't bad because I'm assuming in school that's still passing. But if you rolling with a D, you're failing. But so hopefully all the moves they made is gonna help them at the end of the day. Quarterback. Yeah. Point is important, and without that, you're only gonna go so far. And included in the NFC East.
There weren't any available for them, but they did have they had Mund from A&M they could have selected, and they could have also selected Trisk out of Ford. And both of those, I think, Trisk went to Tampa Bay and Mund went to Minnesota. But to me, it seems like their draft seemed like a setup. Like they look like they're trying to trade for a quarterback. So I mean, I wouldn't rule out Russell Wilson. I know he still has some disgruntled feelings with Seattle there for a little bit. So I mean, I think they could possibly trade for a veteran quarterback. That's not Ryan Fitzpatrick, but somebody that could make them a contender. But I don't think they saw Kellen Mond or Trisk as a future was that franchise quarterback for them.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely trying to trade for one. I don't think you would do that draft that way if you weren't.
We'll have to see. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the fact that they didn't draft either one of those guys, so I'm gonna just assume that they weren't on their board, or they just didn't see those guys as franchise quarterbacks. So
Yeah,
for me, I guess they're like, well, if we're not getting the top few, then we're just not going to do it. And they may make a move um, for a veteran quarterback like Wilson, Rogers. Those will be the top quarterbacks that are available because we had Stafford already move, Wentz move. I think they could have probably took a chance on him, but we knew Philly wasn't going to trade him in the division, and they say he was to come back to
right.
carry Washington to the playoffs. They wasn't going to do that. But I honestly feel like Wilson is going to stay put, so I don't think that's going to work. Maybe if later on in the season things are not working with Fitzpatrick, maybe they'll look at Jimmy G, even though I don't feel like he's a good quarterback.
Yeah,
Maybe they do. They'll have to weigh their options. At some point, they will have to address the quarterback. Otherwise, they're going to end up being the team in the NFC East. Even though their defense is really, really good, they're going to find themselves going backwards. So let's talk about the best team in the NFC East,
okay.
the New York Giants.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said the best thing.
No. We don't. The Cowboys. We'll talk about them later. They're not over the Giants, obviously. So, what are your thoughts on the Giants draft, and what grade did you give them?
So I think I texted you on draft night about the pick. So when I thought about it, getting 2 first round that was worth it. I'm not sold on your receiver.
You're not sold on Tony?
Nah.
What's wrong with Tony? Come on now. What's wrong with him? What's the problem?
I guess I'm missing something about why are we getting these John Ross looking receivers when it's gonna be a Hemi. Like I don't know. I feel like y'all spent too much on that. But
we probably drafted him a little bit higher than some people had him on their board. But I feel like the ultimate goal was, hey, let's go and get that extra first. They ended up with a third. I think they got a fourth or fifth pick. I think it was a fifth. It was a fifth. So they ended up accumulating a lot of assets, and some of which they used in that draft at one point to move back up. So their mind was okay. And I'm not trying to say Smith and Tony are comparable, but they were looking for a weapon that they can utilize all over the field, and maybe they envisioned Smith as that guy. They weren't able to get him, so they're like, well, hey, he may not be Smith, but he's very talented, and we envisioned moving him all over the field to help Daniel Jones. I feel like they know that the offensive line is not one of our strengths, so you're gonna have to get the ball out quickly. They're gonna have to get it out quickly. So a player like him, he's not a running back, but we're gonna see wide receiver screens. So
yeah.
you're gonna see these short passes. So I think that it's a good move, and it was to help Daniel Jones. But On the other end, it also was to say that, okay, if he's not the guy, we have these two picks, which may be high because I don't feel like the Bears are gonna, win a whole bunch of games with Andy Dalton. So those two picks may end up being valuable to a team, say for instance, like Green Bay. Hey, we'll start the conversation with these two first. We're willing to give you these two first, and then we can talk about other assets for Aaron Rodgers. And you figure quarterbacks are playing longer. Tom Brady's 23. I mean 23, Lord. He'd be killing it if he's 23. He's
He's
43.
playing.
43. He playing like he's 23. That's what I meant, y'all. That's what I meant. Playing like he's 23. But think about it. He's still playing at a high level.
Mhm.
And Aaron Rodgers, I still say he can still play at a high level 5, 6 years. You just never know.
That,
So it to me, if you're the Giants, it would be worth it because you figure we got Saquon. Then you have other offensive weapons, wide receivers, and maybe Aaron Rodgers will help a guy like Evan Ingram.
mhm.
We don't know. And the defense is actually improving. So we did a lot of good things in the draft. One thing we didn't address was offensive line. But again, they Judge and Gettleman pretty much said that they are confident in the young group and they want to see them grow together. So that's why they did not draft anyone on the O line. I thought they should have. I actually thought with their first in the first round, I thought that they were going to draft the offensive lineman that the Rams,
Uh, Slater.
the Chargers drafted. Yeah, Slater, Chargers drafted. Right. Yeah, I thought that we were going to draft him, but then we went. I was like, oh, okay. He was right there on the board. So, but I feel like either way we went was still going to help our team.
Mhm.
Goal is to help your quarterback, but I guess they felt like, hey, this is how we're going to help our quarterback. Although the offensive line may not be the best, he needs to be able to get the ball out quickly, and this guy represents that opportunity for him to get the ball out quickly. We'll have to see. What grade did you give the Giants in this draft?
So overall, because of the move, wasn't gonna be hard because I
Of
saw
course
what it did. I think the Giants really plan for the future on this draft. So I will give you guys a B.
not.
I think it was exceptional to get those two first round picks. No, you didn't draft a quarterback, but you are giving Daniel Jones his last shot, which I think is fair.
Right.
So yeah, I like the move. I like getting the two first round picks. So I'll give you guys a B on that draft grade.
I'm gonna give us an A because we also drafted Azzy
I s-
Ajul. I can't even pronounce his name. I done messed it up. Kid from out of Georgia, linebacker from out of Georgia, who could have easily gone in the first round, and we got him at pick number 50. So if he can turn out to be a really good player, that's a steal at 50. He
yeah,
was rated he was ranked 32 on NFL.com site. So if he can end up turning into a first round talent and we got him at pick 50, I am satisfied with that. I'm gonna give the Giants an A minus because we did a hell of a job. I mean, think about it. As a Giants fan, when you got Gettleman, you're like, oh, he's about to mess it up.
right.
He traded back twice to accumulate assets, and then he traded up, used some of those assets to trade back up and get some players to
Mhm.
help us. I honestly think this draft, I think our defense is going to improve tremendously, and you got to think that the defense had already improved. So you're improving, and you're just going to continue to improve. And Daniel Jones is on notice. Hey, if he doesn't do it this year, we got two firsts. Either we're going to try to package those picks to start a conversation about another quarterback in a trade, or we're going to just maybe draft a quarterback coming out this year. Okay, so A minus for me for the Giants because hey, it's the Giants. It's the Giants. Let's move on to the Cowboys. Let's talk about the Cowboys. What do
Wait,
you think on the Cowboys draft? And
uh,
what grade in the Cowboys?
So we actually did a pretty good job. The questions for me came in the third round when we went Osa and Chauncey. So we could have went without one of those. I believe Chauncey would have been my pick. I would have left Osa on the board. But we did address our nose tackle. So everybody knows that you can run on Dallas defense, and it's embarrassing. So I feel like we picked up Quentin Bohanna. He has a great name.
You did a good job with saying his name too. I would have hacked it up.
But he's a big boy. So we're gonna switch now to a 3-4 running with Dan Quinn. So we need that nose tackle. We do get the steal for us was Jabril Cox. Jabril Cox was our still linebacker out of LSU. And then we also picked up Kelvin Joseph, cornerback out of Kentucky, to help out Trayvon Diggs on the other side. So overall, I believe we did exceptionally well addressing each part of the defense. I'm not gonna be biased.
I don't know. Sound like you're about to say some biased crap. You're about to give them a biased grade.
I will say we got
what you giving them?
A hobby on our draft.
You giving them what, a B plus?
Yeah, I think. And like I said, I felt like Michael Parsons was not the best linebacker. I think it was Zaven Collins, and I was a little conflicted with, if we're going to take Michael Parsons here, we need to seriously think about the O-line. If you didn't have Zaven Collins on your draft board, then Slater was the pick that we needed to make instead of Michael Parsons, and we could have tried and got Zaven in that second round if Arizona hadn't picked him up. So
okay. B plus isn't that's a good grade.
Yeah, I'm okay with our draft. B plus. I think we addressed what we needed to. We need to fix our offensive line for Dak. We can't get him hurt. He can't get hurt anymore. So
yeah, I thought at 12 you guys were gonna for sure go for Slater. I just knew it. I was thinking, okay, the Giants are gonna take him if the Cowboys don't. And then when y'all picked Parsons, I was like, oh, okay. We still got hope at pick number 20. And then when we didn't, I'm like, okay. My issue was y'all just, to me, didn't have a plan B once Surtain was off the board and Horn was off the board. I didn't think you guys were gonna get Horn, but I for sure thought that, okay, yeah, the Cowboys are gonna get Surtain, and this is the start to really transforming and rebuilding that defense. When Denver made that pick, I was like, what's going to happen here? And the Cowboys, to me, panicked, and you helped the enemy out. I don't care what Philly was doing. I'm not helping you beat me, because think about it. What if Smith turns out to be a exceptional number one wide receiver? You didn't get Surtain or Horn. Who's going to stop him on the Cowboys? But you know what? Y'all wanted to move back. You ended up accumulating more draft picks to kind of to fill the roster. I guess, because y'all had several needs, especially on defense.
Yeah.
I thought that in the second round you guys would have taken Samuels Jr. Y'all didn't, so I'm gonna be hard on them for that, and also hard on them because they didn't take Slater. Most important thing is, obviously, you need to protect your quarterback, and we have witnessed over the last season, 2 seasons, or at least season and a half, that your O-line is aging. It's not performing like it used to. I don't think most teams go in there and fear the offensive line like they used to. And most people are not saying, hey, oh yeah, that damn Cowboys O-line, we got to deal with them. That O-line is still really good. No, they ended up addressing defense, which was a major need as well. So I can't really penalize them too hard for that, because you needed to address defense. So they did what they needed to do. And let's face it, in the draft, you may not be able to address all needs. Some of those needs you may need to address in free agency. So maybe they'll pick up a DB via free agency. I'm gonna give them a B because I do feel like even though they panicked once Surtain was drafted, I still feel like they panicked, but they still recovered from
Right.
that panic and drafted defensive players to help the team
Mhm.
going forward. I'm hoping it don't work because I'm a Cowboys fan, but we'll have to see. So I'm gonna give them a B because I still feel like they recovered from not picking up Horn or Surtain. So I'm gonna give them that B because y'all not them boys, but I'm gonna give you that B because I still feel like you would have improved your defense, which it's gonna help you because let's face it, y'all couldn't stop anybody.
Nah,
Y'all couldn't stop me, and you see, I got one arm out here. Couldn't stop me at all. So I'm gonna give y'all a B for trying to do the right thing and
yeah,
get the defense corrected because we all know that defense was
nah, it was.
struggling. All right, so let's talk about the Eagles. What are your thoughts on their draft, and what grade do you give them?
So the Eagles. I talk to a lot of Eagles fans at work, and it's a headache. Um, actually have to give credit where credit is due, and the Eagles deserve an A for what they did in this draft. I look at it, and you got Devontae Smith, you got Heisman Trophy winner Devontae Smith, you got Landon Dickerson out of Alabama, as a center to enforce your offensive line because Peters is, he's on his way out the door. And then they also got the safety out of LSU, Jacoby Stevens.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they shored up their defensive backs. They attacked their defense. In free agency, they got Jordan Howard as another power running back. Miles Sanders is a good running back, but he needs a 1-2 punch, and I think they got that back with Jordan Howard. So I'm gonna give the Eagles an A for draft and off season. Um, is the only thing for me is the Eagles never stay healthy. They
Mm-hmm.
they do an amazing job because they spend a lot of money in free agency and they don't hold back when they do by going to go pick up Darius Slay and they even got who's their backup for Jalen Hurts. They went and got somebody just to help him out, teach him the
Oh,
game.
Joe Flacco.
No
I
Flacco,
call him Joe Fluco.
yeah, he
They
is,
got Joe to help. Um,
but he
so
will.
you're giving them an A. Okay. That's a
Yeah,
solid
I think will
grade.
teach Jalen Hurts like the maturity level that he needs in the game. So I think they did what they were supposed to do. They just never stay healthy, and that's their only flaw.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them a B. I feel like they needed so much. They needed just a little bit of everything. They needed wide receivers. They need to me running back, offensive line. They just needed a little bit of everything. I'm gonna give them a B. I thought it was a great move to move to trade back up to get Devontae Smith. They jumped the Giants, which is gonna be which worked out best for us. So I'm not mad at it. So, but they got someone who is going to help Hurts because they didn't really have anyone to throw the ball to. We're gonna see if Jalen is it Jalen Rieger.
Yeah, Rieger.
We'll see what he can do. Hopefully, fully healthy this year, second year. See if he's going to improve. I like the Kenneth Gainwell pick in the fifth round. Maybe he's gonna compete and take Miles Sanders' spot. They still have Boston Scott. They got Dallas Goddard. Ertz, we don't know what the heck's going on there. He's probably not gonna play another down for Philly. So maybe they'll get some type of asset of some compensation for him who I don't know, but he's not going to be there. So I feel like you got Smith, Rieger. We'll see what he can do. I like Dallas Goddard, Miles Sanders. He's incapable of staying healthy. They claimed on Johnson. We'll see what he can do. They they addressed the offensive line in the draft too. So they picked a little bit of everything. They said let's take care of some offense, let's take care of some defense. O-line, you need to protect your quarterback. I don't care if he's mobile, you still need to protect him.
Mhm.
And you got somebody who he's gonna throw the ball to. So I feel like they are a better football team than they was at the end of the 2020 season because of the moves that they made in this draft, which is why the waiver wire queen is gonna give him a B. I'm gonna give him a B because they did a solid job. I'm not gonna hate you. You did a good job. You did a better job than the Cowboys, but you know, Quentin is not going to admit to that, right? You ain't going to admit to that.
Nah, not at all.
All right, y'all. Y'all let us know what y'all think. What do you think the teams in the NFC East did? How do you think they did in this draft? And what grades are you giving them? Hit that like button again to keep the YouTube algorithm going crazy. And hit the like button just because you're a Giants fan and you love the Giants. That's what I'm talking about. Come on now, y'all. You know it's all about the Giants. Okay, let's go. Guys, we want to thank y'all for joining us. I got a little special offer for you guys quickly. Let me share my little special offer before we wrap up for the evening. Right? I want y'all to check out. Let's jump right into the slideshow. My computer's kind of slow. Y'all gotta bear with me. Considering I have the best, I have a brand new computer. It's a hot mess. So y'all go to the Dream Elite Strive for Excellence website. That's Dream Elite Strive for Excellence Apparel, and that's excellence with an X, like bx.com, and use discount code excellence15 for 15% off your order now through May 22nd, 2021. Link and offer code will be in the description. We got some great merch. We got a lot of fantasy football merch on the website. We got pretty much custom tees with some solid quotes. See some more fantasy football stuff, and then we got the Bronx merchandise as well. So check it out, Quentin. You know, check it out. Share with everyone that you know. Get that discount. Ain't nothing like receiving a little discount, a little love. Show love. That's my gift to everyone tuning in this evening. All right, y'all. So we are nearing the end of this video. Y'all let us know what you think. Thanks for watching. Did we get it right? What are your thoughts on NFC East for the 2021 season? Hit that subscribe button, like this video if you love football, especially if you're a Giants fan, because we know Giants is the team to beat in the NFC East. Follow me on Facebook, IG, and Instagram at Waiver Wire Queen. Y'all be great. Y'all have a blessed evening. Peace.
Peace.